Apple, like you said, it's in 3 of the 4 indices, so it has the ability to really move these markets. But unfortunately, they are kind of facing these low bar expectations for this earnings report with this weak iPhone I keep hearing so much about. So Landon, what are you seeing in your purchase intent mentions?
Yeah, I'm hearing that there's some rumors that this iPhone isn't the one, that the 2020 is the one to wait for, which could hurt sales, but we'll see in September when they do their keynote. So Apple is a huge one for us to track, obviously very popular stock, and people really display what their intentions are as far as buying new phones when it comes to the keynote. And you can see this on the chart. This is a 90-day moving average, which of course lags the actual data by a little bit just by nature of moving averages. But you can see huge spikes every September when they have their keynote. And you can see the last one was muted compared to others. And so that's why we were bearish at 224 the day after their keynote in September of 2018. The stock dropped to, I think, 145, and it's since bounced back quite a bit. And so for us, we're really looking forward to the keynote. This earnings call is not nearly as important as the consumer reaction to the keynote. However, what's interesting is that while we do see, and you can see it on the chart, that last bump at the September of 2018 was lower than the previous one of 17. What's interesting is that now the summer level is actually higher than it was last year. And so we may have a little bit of a turnaround coming for Apple, just as far as maybe people are putting behind them the disappointment of the last iPhone. And, you've got wearables, and like iPhone is doing okay, but iPad, the watch, and AirPods are doing really well. And so they're able to kind of, I guess, mitigate the losses from the disastrous iPhone release in 2018, and maybe they're consolidating their consumer market a little bit. So I think that they're going to be able to survive very well, and then it's all going to come down to September of 2019. Next month, we'll see exactly how well they're going to be doing. So I'm looking forward to that, seeing if people are going to be interested in the new iPhone. But yeah, I've heard a lot of rumors that this isn't the one, that it's 2020, the one where the iPhone is going to blow things out.
Well, Landon, don't you think that has something to do with people waiting for 5G? I think 5G could be the thing in the next iPhone that really drives, a large percentage of iPhone holders and customers to upgrade to the new phone. So if you're sliding all your chips in on the 5G in the next phone, anticipation for that's going to be high, and the stock should trade ahead of that, with some anticipation. But you're right, for this earnings report, it's still going to be services. It's still going to be, there's going to be questions about China. There's going to be questions about government regulation, right? It looks like they're dodging a bullet here between the other 3, Amazon, Google, and Facebook. But, this is a stock that could have kind of a hood on it, unless they start talking about 5G and its availability.
Yeah, so you're right. They can only go so far on promising the future, right? People want something nice delivered now. And so if they come out with another sort of lackluster phone this year, I think that's going to be bad for them unless they can really do a great job of talking up 2020. I know there's a ton of rumors about potential new things coming out. They just stole away a couple of key people from Tesla, including the head of the electric powertrain. So who knows what Apple could be getting into? Maybe electric cars, or maybe they're just looking to improve their phones a lot. But the phone is, I think, going to have to be, you kind of have to put that on the back burner until September to see what the reaction is as far as LikeFolio data. If you're not following LikeFolio data, you're going to have to wait till the next report. But this one, I think, is all about the other things. So we're seeing not only have our AirPods doing really well, but we're actually seeing the iPad, which was in a downtrend for years, just year over year was lower and lower. It's actually leveling out and starting to go up again as far as purchase intent goes. So people are actually coming back to iPad. So I think that Apple is diversifying the levels of consumer interest among many brands. And so maybe we can wait a little bit longer on the next greatest iPhone.
And you do have these core customers. Like, you have people that are very Apple loyal. Like, I will only buy iPhones because I have an iPhone and I have a Mac. And I think I'm not unusual in that way, where I'm so Apple loyal. It's a brand that people
I don't think you're unusual at all. I think there's huge
brand loyalty is unbelievable.
Yes, exactly.
And you see that on social media. So our first tweet is from Chart Surgeons, who says, first focus is Apple. Steady grind up and sideways, looks the best among FANGs. Facebook is kind of broken. Amazon is broken for now. Alphabet is good, but don't want to chase Netflix broken. Apple looks best. Do they build up into earnings? If market wants to go Apple, you should go with it. So all these other names have already reported, obviously, and we've seen some kind of a mixed bag following them. How do we compare Apple to the other FANGs?
Apple's its own universe, if you ask me. I mean, because they've got a different makeup than all these other FANG stocks, that's for sure. And you know, you can say that about all the FANG stocks. They're all their own universe now. But Apple's got a, you know, they don't release iPhone data anymore, right? But they're going to talk about services, and what I read, they need to hit 17, 18% in terms of growth in services. So that's, I think, that number you have to look at.
A quick comment on this. I mean, I will say, while I agree they are all independent companies and they existed very kind of seamlessly independently, I do think as they all race to build this ecosystem, they are stepping into each other's areas a little bit more and more now, as you're seeing Amazon and Netflix overlapping. You're seeing Apple step into that. Amazon, of course, stepping into some of the in-home stuff that Alphabet's involved in. So there are more and more overlaps between these companies now. But as far as this tweet goes, a little bit of opinionation, or a little bit of an opinion expressed here within this tweet.
You know, as most tweets usually are. So our next tweet is from Alex, who says, Apple, if this is all that's coming, I'll be skipping an upgrade for the second time ever. I've upgraded every year since buying my first iPhone, iPhone 4. I have an X now and skipped the XS. Looks like I'll be skipping this too. So my first advice is that he should have gotten the XS. I think this person missed out.
Landon, I want to get your take on this, because I was waiting until we talked about this piece before I really think that it's the bigger story. And I think where Kevin was saying about the 5G maybe is the next big thing. They just aren't changing the iPhones enough, and they're lasting longer. They're almost a victim of their own success. I don't think that it's not that people are excited. There's just not that incentive to go spend another $1,000 on a phone that's not that much different when yours is perfectly functional. And I think that's what this tweet's expressing a little bit.
Yeah, with technology, what you expect with technology is for either the price to decrease significantly or the features and the ability to increase significantly. And Apple went 0 for 2 on the last keynote event. They didn't do either one of those. It didn't get cheaper and it didn't get significantly better. And that's just not how technology is supposed to work. And so people have been used to, like that last tweeter, have been used to upgrading every single year because it's been great every single year. Now all of a sudden there's a little bit of a crack in the armor for Apple where people are saying, you know what, my iPhone's still working. It doesn't seem to bug out in August every year like I think maybe is. There's rumors that that's planned by Apple, but it's still working, and it's more expensive for the upgrade, and it's not that much of an upgrade. So people are kind of pushing it off year over year. So I think this one is important because last year we saw a huge push off till this year. And so if they do that again, then there's going to be an unbelievable amount of pressure in 2020 to really, really deliver. So there's a ton of rumors, a lot of anticipation. You can see it in our chart. People are excited, but they've got to deliver. And so we're really looking forward to September. This particular report, I don't think is going to be huge. You know, I rarely advocate for this, but I may just be a premium seller on Apple. I may just do something like an Iron Condor or something like that. I just don't see them going huge either direction because there's nothing in our data that says that. Our data pretty much agrees with the market right now.